everybody, it's Miranda and welcome back to my channel. I hope that you guys are as excited as I am. I promise this is my last introduction video before we get into the actual content. So we're going to be doing the Authortube Newbie Tag. I keep getting it, is it Author Newbie Tag or Authortube Newbie Tag? I hear it used interchangeably. We're going to go with Author Newbie Tag. So I have the questions right on my phone, and I will leave a link in the description box down below as to where I got these questions. So without further ado, let's dive right in. Question 1. How did you find out about Authortube? I found out about Authortube through my Facebook group, one of my writing Facebook groups that I'm a part of. And I was looking, I can't remember what I was looking up. I think I was looking up recommendations for writing tip videos or something like that. And somebody recommended Jenna Moresi to me. So I went over to her channel, I watched some of her videos, and I fell in love with Jenna Moresi's content, so I subscribed to her channel, and that's pretty much how I found out about Authortube. Question 2. What genres do you write in? I mostly write in fantasy. That is my primary genre. I also write in contemporary fiction, I want to say. It's the fiction where it's about the girl and her horse. I don't know if that has a specific kind of genre that it's called, but I also write in that. I write a little bit of romance, a little bit of mystery, and a little bit of horror. So a little bit of everything. I have a story in just about every genre, so a little bit of everything, but mostly, primarily, right now, I write fantasy, so. Question 3. What is your preferred writing tense, point of view, and category of story? So, my preferred writing tense is past tense. My point of view is third person. Sometimes I will do omniscient, sometimes I won't. It depends on the piece and how I drive the plot forward, you know. And what kind do I write in? What category? I mostly write in YA and children's. So, like those girl horror stories I just was talking about are going to be geared towards a younger audience than some of my fantasy novels. I kind of want to dabble in with the new adult genre, but I'm not sure yet. I don't have any content right now that I'm working on that's geared towards new adults yet, so maybe new adults in the future, but for right now, children and YA. Question 4. Are you a plotter, pantser, or plantser? So it depends on the kind of writing that I'm doing. So I write novels, short stories, and every now and then, very rarely, will I write poetry. For my novels, because they're longer pieces, I tend to do plotting for all of them. I would do a full-blown, in-depth outline and plotting of my novels. For my poems, I tend to be more of a pantser because it's a relatively new form of writing for me that I'm trying out, and I don't know like how you would plot out a poem, so I just kind of dive right in and then I fix it and edit it later on. And then for my short stories, I'm a bit of a plantser, so I do a little bit of both. Usually with short stories, I always dive right into it, and then as soon as I get the scene that was in my head on the page, then I forget everything else. So then I have to go back and plot a short story anyway. But my short story plotting is not as in-depth as my novel plotting. So a little bit of everything depending on the project that I'm working on. Question 5. Are you self-published, published, or yet to be published? I am a self-published author. My first novel, my debut novel, was published in 2016. It is called The Curse of Sokotoa. It is the first book in the Kingdom's Curse trilogy. I am currently working on the second book in the Kingdom's Curse trilogy, Shadows of War. If you guys watch my writing vlog, you will have seen a lot of like the complexities that's going on with that novel, which is why it's taking so long for it to be published. But in the meantime, if anybody follows me on Instagram, I have mentioned in passing that I'm working on relaunching my first book with a new cover and maybe some new extra content that wasn't in there before, so I'm a self-published author. That's pretty much the answer to that question. What publishing company, literary agent, and or printing company are you represented by or use? So I am published through CreateSpace, and that is, I don't have an agent that represents me. I do have like a team, not really a team of people. It's kind of hard to explain because my first novel, I did a lot of things myself when publishing it. And my second book, now I'm kind of reaching out and realizing that I need the team of people to help me. But as far as representing, I don't have like a literary agent to represent me. Question 7. What Authortube related videos can we expect to find on your channel? What you can expect from my Authortube side of my channel is a lot of writing vlogs. I do know that my next video is going to be starting on the writer's journey, how I went from a teenager writing in a journal to published author, and what that led to. And I'm going to start from like the ending of that writer's journey and work my way back to the beginning of how that book came about, and throw in, and like I said, throw in a little bit of writing vlogs in there about some other stuff that I'm working on and whatnot. So that's pretty much what you can expect. As far as, I feel like I offer a good perspective on that because, I mean, well, because it didn't exactly go, not everything went according to plan, so to speak. I'm going to leave that there, and I will discuss it further in my next Authortube video. When did you start writing? I started writing when I was 7 years old, and this was when I started, and I'm not counting like writing for school, I'm counting like writing as a hobby. I started doing that when I was 7 years old, and I remember because I was so angry about the ending of the book, My Side of the Mountain by Jean Craighead George. I was so angry by the ending of that. And then that's when I started writing my own stories because I was so angry about that, about how it ended. I kind of wrote my own stuff, and, you know, I don't think I ever rewrote the ending of that story. I just started writing my own stuff as a hobby because it was fun to be able to go on these fantastical adventures and stuff as a kid. Which leads into the next question. What was the first story you ever wrote? So, the first story that I ever wrote was called Magical World. It is a fantasy novel about two twin boys named Scott and James who go on like this quest to get these 7 magical gemstones. They meet a dragon. Dragon's got some lost memories, and there's a battle with witches and Vikings and all that in this story. It is a real treat to read it. Every time I read it, I just get reminded of, like, where I came from and, like, the humble beginnings. 10. What authors have inspired your writing the most? So, the one that inspired my writing the most, like, to really pursue writing a full-blown novel and, like, branching out of short stories was Colleen Hoek and her Tiger's Curse series. I loved those series when I was a teenager. I didn't think that I could gobble up a book so fast as I did that Tiger's Curse. That was such an amazing series, and it showed me how realistic and how fantastical and beautiful, you know, writing can be. And one of the big things that I took away from that book specifically was how to write monologue. I really enjoyed how Colleen wrote her monologue in that story. Question 11. Do you schedule your writing sessions or simply get to writing whenever you can find the time? I don't schedule anything. I don't have any routine that I stick to. I just write whenever I find the time. My life is so crazy and so unpredictable, like a lot of people's lives are. I don't have the ability to just sit and write for 4 hours or whatever, and there you go, and pump out a lot of words in a day. I can't do that. I'm more of a goal setter, so it's like, okay, let's get through this chapter today. That's the kind of writer that I am. I don't care about, and it doesn't matter if I got it done in 10,000 words or 500 words, as long as I can get the chapter done, that's what matters to me. especially in a rough draft or anything for my stories. So, no, I don't have a writing routine. I just kind of go with the flow and whenever I can find time to write. Do you type on a computer, typewriter, write everything out by hand, or use a blend of those? And where do you write in general? So all of my rough drafts of my stories and all of the ideas and the outlines and all those little tidbits of information is all handwritten. It's all handwritten, and then as soon as I get it done, I will type everything up on the computer, and from there it'll be revised and edited and critiqued and whatever until it's in its final draft form. So the final draft is on the computer, but the rough drafts are always in handwriting. Where do I write? It depends on where I'm at. If I'm writing longhand, like handwriting anything, then I usually will write in my library. I can write on my couch. I'll sit on my couch and have everything on the arm of it and write on there. Or if I'm at somebody's house for a long period of time, I'll just bring some writing with me. So yeah, that's usually where I do that, or anywhere that doesn't have internet access. I will take a handwritten piece with me and work on that. But for my typing that I do, I actually have an office with my not a laptop, but like with my computer on it, and I type everything up there. So everything for me has to be pretty portable. So I actually keep my writing on a Google Drive because to me it's easier for me to log into it when I do have a chance and happen to be at a place with internet and work on it and save it automatically than it is for me to, yeah. Question 13. What are you most looking forward to now that you're a part of Authortube? I actually am looking forward to finding a good niche of writing friends that we can sit and maybe video chat if we don't live close by and talk about writing and talk about each other's writing. That's the thing that I really, really crave right now. I'm hoping to make some writing friends, but we'll see as time goes. That's the biggest thing that I really hope to find on Authortube. So if anybody knows like any good places that are open and friendly and where people aren't trying to sell things to each other, then let me know in the comments down below, because I would really, really like to be a part of this community, like more in depth than what I currently am. So okay, so that's all I got for you guys today. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Next week we are going to be doing a book unhaul thing to go with the library makeover type thing. So that's going to be the first part of that. But then after that, we're going to be starting on the Writer's Journey series. So I hope that you guys will tune in for that. If you haven't already, go ahead and like the video and subscribe, and I will see you guys next week. Bye!